Howdy! How's all my YouTube peeps out there tonight? I've got some crafts going on here. Been doing all kinds of wood burning. I did a wood burning session in my last video, and I told you that I'd be back to show you how to stain this stuff once you get it the way you want it with a wood burner. And I've got some stain up here on the table, and I've got a sponge applicator to put it on with. There's all kinds of sizes in them sponge applicators. You can buy big packets of them at the hardware store, any place paint is sold. The craft stores generally have them. So it gives you something that you can work with there in order to stain your projects up and make them all pretty. I've got this little plaque. I see just a little smidge of pattern stuff stuck to it right here in the middle, and I'm trying to get loose. There we go. Just a little smidge right there on the corner of it. Yeah, get that off of there. Don't want that on there when we go staining it. Make sure that one's all off of there, up in that corner too. It looks like it is. They're hard to see. Get them in the light and kind of twist them around, see if you get any glare off that pattern paper. But yeah, I think that's nice and clear now, finally. That was a lot of pattern paper to peel off of that bad boy. We're going to set that one aside here just for a minute because I want to get started with this plaque. Now, one of the things you're going to need is paper towels. I always find when I'm staining, you never can have enough paper towels around. So we're going to get a nice big batch of paper towels here to be setting this on. I'm going to start here with the bottom edge. I'm not going to do this bottom panel part, but I am going to do around the edge of it. And this particular one, this is Minwax, and it is Golden Pecan. And I shook this real good before I opened it. I've got several different colors of stains on hand, depending upon what kind of a project that I'm working on. And you can put several coats of it on if you want it a lot darker. I'm going to tend to make these pieces that I'm staining tonight fairly light. And I'm just saturating the tip of the sponge applicator there with the stain. Just put it on there real nice and light. Now, while it's sitting up here with that drying, one coat of it is not going to take very long to dry. So while that's sitting there drying like that, I'll come around here to the side and get the sides of it. I could have gotten real fancy with this little tray, and I could have engraved the sides of it or burn them or whatever with another design, but I just wanted a little simple tray that had a little design there in the bottom of it. Just something to dress it up a little bit. It's a little caddy for carrying just a few little trinkets and stuff in. Make a nice little catch-all on a dresser for putting your jewelry and things in. Come right around the top edge of it there and get that side there. I'll flip it a little bit here and get this side. Hoping to keep that in the camera so that you can kind of keep an eye on what I'm doing. See, I just brush it on, just a thin coat. Get inside that handle part. Nothing like getting a piece of what you think is done and then going back and saying, oh shoot, I missed getting half of it done. Maybe if I move that camera out just a little bit, tilt her back, get a little more bird's eye view here on the desk, you can see more about what I'm doing. Make sure we get everything coated. I love the smell of stain. Some people complain about it, but I think it smells good. Like I say, we're not trying to darken it up a whole lot. Just want to put a nice little coat on it. Make it look finished. If you see any spots that just didn't seem to take on it, you know, sometimes the wood grain don't want to suck it up, so you go over it again with just a little bit. Now we're going to come in here to the inside, and I'm going to get right inside that lip there to get that part all coated, and the joint, and then around this side of it a little bit. I'll turn it some. Having that paper towel under it makes it a little easier for you to turn it and manipulate it without getting your hands all stuck up in the stain. Once these pieces are dry from being stained and I'm satisfied with the depth of color, then it will be time to do the top coat. And for my top coat, I'm going to be spraying them with Krylon gloss, clear. I thought about trying to paint the designs in them, and that would be pretty, but I'm not going to do that on those. I think the wood burning stands out alone. So that's what we're going to go with. I like using a sponge brush because A, it doesn't leave big old brush strokes like a bristle brush does, and you don't have the bristles falling out of the brush into your work. Shedding on your project. See, and I think that just makes that design stand out and look so much prettier when it's got a little stain on it. Makes the piece look finished. And it's kind of shiny there with the light shining on it, but that'll dry and it'll be matte, and then when I put the gloss on it, it'll be shiny again. So that's what they look like when you do them that way. Now, that's on its paper towel, and I don't want to take it off of its paper towel, so I'm going to leave it on the paper towel, move it out of the way, and I'm going to get another set of paper towels for my little plaque. So let's get some more up here to put the plaque on. And then we're going to dip the brush again. And this one's so much simpler because it does not have all the nooks and crannies that the tray did. And you just start at one side and work to the other side. I think that pecan makes a pretty stain on the piece. This is basswood, but the stain is pecan. Now, if I wanted to, I could go over it with paint even after it has been stained. As a matter of fact, the paint really goes on better once it has been stained, because then the wood has already been penetrated. So the paint does not have a tendency to run all over everything, especially if you're using inks and any kind of an ink dye. You would want to stain the wood first. That has been my finding. So there's my 2 cents worth on that. But there you have the staining process. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and stay tuned because you never know what I'll be doing next. I have about, I don't know, a dozen different projects laying here that need to be accomplished. So I'll be back with another video before long, and I'll see you then. Remember, Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda.